Céline, Lady Fanny, Jetty, Amédine, and garden, Felice, sailing way over New Land, and daily mess over New Land, and daily mess of dream.
Caroline walked out of the house and went to the topmost flat where in her world a crazy old man lives. While traveling to the building along the way, she screams,
I am an explorer!
Finally, reaching the destination, Coraline goes inside into the creepy, dirty attic, radiating eerie vibes that scares her, and her voice is muffled and dead in the misty air. And as she walked in, she heard a voice saying,
We have eyes, we have nervuses, we have tails, we have teeth. You'll all get what you deserve when you rise from underneath.
It whispered to her so many times, and then red eyes stared at her with the little pink feet scares away while she comes closer, and then someone calls to her.
Little girl, come over.
Yes?
Said Caroline, convincing herself that she is not scared, despite the darkness she sees, for she concludes that it is all just an illusion or a test. Then comes another voice.
Come over, little girl. I know what you want.
Ignoring the voice she's hearing, Caroline proceeds to walk down the hallway until she finds the last bedroom where the crazy old man has lived in it.
Nothing's changed, little girl. And what if you do everything you swore you would? What then? Nothing's changed. You'll go home, you'll be bored, you'll be ignored. No one will listen to you, not really listen to you. You're too clever and too quiet for them to understand. They don't even get your name right, so stay with us,
Says the crazy old man.
We will listen to you and play with you and laugh with you. Your other mother will build whole worlds for you to explore and tear them down every night when you are done. Every day will be better and brighter than the one that went before. Remember, toy box? How much better would the world be built just like that and all for you?
And there will be gray, wet days where I just don't know what to do, and there's nothing to go, and the days drags on forever?
Never.
And will there be awful meals with food-made recipes with garlic and tarragon and broad beans in?
Every meal will be a thing of joy. Nothing will pass your lips that does not entirely delight you.
And could I have day-glow green gloves wear and yellow Wellington boots in the shape of frogs?
Frogs, ducks, rhinos, octopuses, whatever you desire, the world will be built new for you every morning. If you stay here, you can have whatever you want.
Caroline sighed and continued softly.
You really don't understand, do you? I don't want whatever I want. Nobody does. Not really. What kind of fun would it be if I just got everything I ever wanted? Just like that, and it didn't mean anything. What then?
I don't understand.
Of course you don't understand. You are just a bad copy she made of the crazy old man upstairs.
Caroline then noticed that something was glowing from the raincoat of the old man at about chest height. Through the hole in the stone, the glow twinkled and shone blue-white as any star.
Not even that anymore.
Coraline then took a step closer to the man, and he fell apart. Tons of black rats leaped from the sleeves and from under the coat and hat, red eyes showing. The rats chittered and they fled. Coraline reached out her hand and pulled the coat open. It was empty. She was looking for the marble until they reached the steps outside of the building. The building was starting to collapse. Her knee and her palm was scraped and skinned. It hurted Coraline. Later on, after gaining her strength, she looked around for the rat, but it was gone and the marble with it.
Oh no. Where could it be?
Her hand stung where the skin had been scraped, and there was blood trickling down her ripped pajama leg from her knee.
I failed.
Coraline started to cry and wished that the earth would swallow her up. And then there was a cough. Coraline opened her eyes and saw a rat. It was lying on the brick path at the bottom of the steps. Beside the rat was a black cat.
I think I once mentioned that I don't like rats at the best of times. It looked like you needed this one, however. I hope you don't mind me getting involved.
I think you may have said something out of the sort.
The cat lifted its paw from the marble which rolled towards Coraline. She picked it up quickly and the final voice whispered her.
She has lied to you. She will never give you up. Now she has you. She will not more give any of us up. Then she changes in her nature.
Coraline had 3 marbles now, and all she needed to do left was to find her parents, and she realized that it was easy for her to find her parents.
The other mother. She plans to break her promise. She won't let us go.
I wouldn't put it past her. Like I said, there's no guarantee she'll play fair.
The black cat saw something and said,
Hello, did you see that?
See what?
Look behind you.
The house had flattened out even more. It no longer looked like a photograph, more like a drawing drawn on gray paper.
Whatever is happening, thank you for helping me with the rat. I suppose that I'm almost there, aren't I? So you go off into the mist or wherever you go, and I hope to get to see you at home, if she lets me go home.
The cat stared at Coraline and its tail was bristling.
What's wrong?
They have gone. They aren't there anymore. The ways in and out of this place, they just went flat.
Is that bad?
Coraline could feel that the black cat was scared.
You will be fine. Everything's going to be fine. I will take you home. Come on, cat.
The cat stayed where it was, looking miserable and oddly much smaller.
If the only way out is past her, then that's the way we're going to go.
She went to the cat and picked it up, and the cat did not resist her. It simply trembled. The cat was heavy but not too heavy to carry. It licked the palm of her hand, where the blood came from the scrape was welling up. Coraline walked up to the step, one at a time. Heading back to her flat, she got to her front door, half expecting that her hand would dip through it, but revealing behind it was blackness and scattering of scars, but the door swung open, and Coraline went inside.
Coraline went inside the flat that was not hers, and she was pleased to see that it had not transformed into an empty drawing that the rest of the house seemed to become. Somewhere in the shadows was waiting for Coraline to return.
So, you're back and you brought Vermin with you?
No, I brought a friend.
Coraline wanted to hold the cat as if it were her teddy bear for reassurance, but she knew that the cats hate to be squeezed, and she suspected that frightened cats were liable to bite and scratch if provoked in any way, even if they were on your side.
You know I love you.
You have a very funny way of showing it.
She said, and she walked down the hallways and turned into the drawing room, steady and step by step, pretending that she should not feel the other mother's blank black eyes on her back. At the end of the room, in the corner, stood the wooden door, which had once, in another place, opened onto a plain black wall. Coraline tried not to stare at it. The window showed nothing but mist.
Well, where are they?
The other mother reached her white fingers out for them, but Coraline slipped them back into her pocket. She knew it was true then. The other mother had no intention of letting her go.
Hold on. We aren't finished yet, are we?
No, I suppose not. After all, You still need to find your parents, don't you?
Yes.
Well, produce them. Would you like to look in the cellar again? I have some other interesting things hidden down there, you know.
No, I know where my parents are.
Where?
It stands to reason. I've looked everywhere you'd hide them. They aren't in the house, so I know where they have to be. You've hidden them in a passageway between the houses, haven't you? They are behind that door.
The other mother remained statue still, but the hint of a smile crept back onto her face.
Oh, they are they?
Go on, why don't you open it? They'll be there all right.
It was Coraline's only way home. She needed not only to win, but to show that she had won the deal. The other mother reached her hand slowly into her apron pocket and produced the black iron key. The other mother walked over to the door and pushed the key into the lock, and then she turned the key.
There.
Waving her hands at the corridor, the expression of delight on her face was a very bad thing to see.
You're wrong, Coraline. You don't know where your parents are, do you? They aren't there. Now, you are going to stay here forever and always.
No, I am not.
She then threw the cat at the other mother to buy time for distraction while escaping. The cat followed Coraline, and Coraline began to pull the door closed, and she was helped by the 3 ghost children and 2 adults.
Pull, girl, pull!
Then the door started to slip closed easily as anything.
We are going to go home.
We are!
Come on now. This is not a good place to be in. Quickly.
And just like that, they all traveled together to the other side of the real world, where the other mother was not to be seen again after that door was shut. Once she arrived at the real world, Coraline locked the door with the key and put it back into her pocket. She then found an old armchair and rested there with the black cat and fell into a deep, dreamless sleep.
Coraline, darling, what a funny place to fall asleep. And really, this room is only for Bess. We look all over the house for you.
Coraline was awakened by her mother, and Coraline said,
I'm sorry, I fell asleep.
I can see that. And where did that cat come from? He was waiting by the front door when I came in.
Probably had things to do.
Coraline then hugged her mother tightly, feeling grateful for her existence, and her mother hugged her back.
Dinner is in 15 minutes. And do not forget to wash your hands too. You look like a mess now.
Coraline went into her real bedroom and cleaned herself up. She then pulled out the 3 marbles, a stone with a hole in it, the black key, and an empty snow globe. Coraline then took a piece of string from her toy box and strung the black key into it, making it into a necklace, with a pairing new shirt, and went down to visit her father's study. She then went to her father and kissed him on his balding head.
Oh, hello, Coraline. What was that for?
Nothing. I just miss you sometimes. That's all.
Good.
The father then put the computer to sleep and stood up and picked up Coraline and carried her to the kitchen. They had homemade pizza for dinner, and after all of them ate, Coraline went straight home for bedtime. Coraline kept the key around her neck and in bed that night, Coraline dreamed a dream. She was on a picnic with the ghost children under an oak tree. They had a small talk as well. And then, in the way of dreams, the picnic had ended, and they were playing in the meadow running.
Thank you for coming to my party, as if it is mine.
The pleasure is ours, Coraline Jones, if there were but something we could do for you, to thank you and to reward you.
Hey!
It's a very fine thing you did for us, miss.
I am just pleased that it is all over.
Is it over and done with us? This is our staging post. From here we three will set out for uncharted lands, and what comes after no one alive can say.
There was a long pause among them.
There is a but, isn't there? I can feel it, like a rain cloud.
The three ghosts were nervous and were debating on whether they should tell Coraline something or not.
Yes, miss.
But I got you three back. I got Mom and Dad back. I shut the door. I locked it. What more was I meant to do?
We wish you luck, good fortune, and wisdom and courage. Although you have already shown that you have all three of this blessing in abundance.
She hates you. She has not lost anything for so long. Be wise, be brave, be tricky.
But it's not fair. It's just not fair. It should be over now.
Take comfort in this. Thou art alive, thou livest.
Coraline stood in the meadow, and she watched as the three children went away from her. Across the grass, silver in the light of the huge moon, the three of them came to a small wooden bridge over a stream. They stopped there and turned and waved, and Coraline waved them back. And what came after was darkness. Coraline woke in the early hours of the morning, convinced she had heard something moving, but unsure what it was.
It isn't over, is it?
Coraline opened the front door and looked at the gray sky. She wondered how long it would be until the sun came up. Wondered whether her dream had been a true thing, while knowing in her heart that it had been. Something came past her beneath the couch and made a mud, scrubbing rush on its long white legs, heading for the front door. Caroline's mouth dropped open in horror, and she stepped out of her way and out of their house, running crab-like. She knew what it was, and she knew what it was after. It wanted the black key. Miss Pink and Miss Forcible came back from visiting Miss Pink's niece, and Coraline went down to their flat for tea to bring to them the fragmented pieces that were found in the snow globe.
Well, looks like everything's mostly shipshape and bristled fashion. Lovely.
Sorry?
Everything is coming up roses. Well, almost everything. I'm not sure what that is.
Honestly, Miriam, give it over here. Let me see. Oh dear. No, I have no idea what that signifies. It looks almost like a hand.
Coraline also realized that too when the clump of leaves was reaching for something. Hamish the Scotty dog was hiding under Miss Forcible's chair.
I think he was in some sort of fight. He has a deep gash in his side. Oh, poor thing.
Coraline then exited the flat of Miss Forcible and Miss Pink. The crazy old man upstairs called down to Coraline when he saw her coming out of the flat.
Hey, hi, oh Coraline.
It's Coraline. How are the mice?
Something has frightened him. I think maybe there is a weasel in the house. I also give it meat or hamburger. The mice are so scared that they will not even pick up the musical instrument.
I don't think it wants meat.
She then went inside her flat and baited herself, and kept the key around her neck the whole time. Something scratched at her bedroom window after she went to bed. A white hand with crimson fingernails leapt from the window ledge onto a drain pipe and was immediately out of sight. The next day, Coraline went on a picnic with her dolls outside.
I don't think you played with your dolls anymore.
I don't. They are protective coloration.
Well, be back in time for lunch.
She then prepared the picnic for her dolls outside with little teacups and went to Miss Forcible and Miss Pink's flat. Miss Pink opened the door.
Hello, dear.
I don't want to come in. I just want to know how Hamish was doing.
The vet says he is fine. Mr. Bobo says he thinks it might have been the weasel who argued with him.
Mr. Bobo?
The man in the top flat. Find old circus family, I believe.
Turns out that the crazy man who happens to live at the top flat was Mr. Bobo himself.
Thank you for your time, Mrs. Pink, but I have to play with my dolls now.
Well then, have a good time playing with it.
Coraline then went to her dolls and played with them, telling that it was tea time.
Hello, dolls. It's tea time. I brought this lucky key to make sure we have a good picnic together.
And she carefully removed the key to her neck and placed it gently on the tablecloth. She was still holding onto the string. The key sat in the middle of the paper picnic, and she never let go of the string. While having the picnic in the corner of an eye for Coraline, she noticed something from a distance but kept ignoring it.
Who wants a piece of cake?
And then, a hand running high on its fingertips through the tall grass and up onto a tree stump. Time slowed for Coraline. The white fingers closed around the black key while picnic was ongoing. And then, the momentum of the hand sent the plastic doll's cups flying and the paper tablecloth, and the key and the other mother's hand went tumbling down into the darkness of the well. Coraline was at relief. The cat then kept company of Coraline, signaling that she did a good job. Coraline then went back to the house, and Mr. Bobo was waiting for her in the driveway and applauded her.
The mice tell me that all is good. They say that you are our savior, Coraline.
It's Coraline, Mr. Bobo, not Caroline.
Well, Coraline, I commend you for your bravery. The mice say that I must tell you as soon as they are ready to perform in public. You will come up to watch them as the first audience of them all.
I would like that very much when they are ready.
She then went back to Miss Forcible and Miss Pink flat, and Coraline went inside their parlor and handed them the stone with a hole in it.
Here you go. I don't need it anymore. I am very grateful. I think it may have saved my life and saved some other people's death.
She gave them both tight hugs and left the place.
What an extraordinary child.
That night, Coraline laid in bed, all butted and ready to sleep. She was also excited for her school clothes. As the first stars came out, Coraline finally allowed herself to drift into sleep. The end.
Fairy, fairy tale. Ready, so